So let's go to the second key to success. Outreach. Who is your target audience? Consistency, frequency. So I'm talking about how many proposals you send. We're going to go over a proposal formula. I'm going to give you one. Test. What I mean by that is that even though I give you this formula, even though I think it's the best formula there is, because I've taken it from many different types of UpWork proposals that I've seen, you're going to have to figure it out yourself and figure out what works best for you and what is true to you, and then what helps out the customer the most to understand that you're the right person for the job the most. So we'll talk more about that in a second. Follow-up. Make sure to follow up. This is regarding outreach and sales. How to search and when. I'll kind of show you a bit of my searching patterns along with how I qualify lead and criteria. And then edit before send. Two big things. Test, edit. So that's, yeah. So let's run through this. Okay, so the proposal formula right here. Short introduction, hook with name, hook with something unique from their proposal description, and then second hook, look at their question and see if you can give them direct insight to provide instant value. How can you help them? Bullet benefits. So it's kind of similar to it is similar to the bio formula because you want to get straight to the point. Testimonial, portfolio example, 3 to 5 websites, CTA, call to action, and then still think hook, outcome, testimonial. Again, hook them with whatever you can. And when I say hook with name, you want to do things like this. So like, let's go ahead and, this guy. So let's just look through this, right? So we have a gentleman that's payment verified. Good. We have 5 stars based on 4 feedback. That's great because that means that I could probably grab his name, he or she. Let's go ahead and designer need to lay out task management system. See, I wouldn't go for this, even though it has 2 great qualifications, because I don't really even know what that is. And if I don't know what it is, I just skip over it pretty quick. Because I really, personally, I only send 2 proposals a day. And it's because I'm very, very strict with who I even send a proposal to. So let's look here. Okay, proposals. This is very important to understand. Every single one of these is good to know. Okay, so if he sent invites and unanswered invites were 7, that means only obviously 4 people got back to him, and he's interviewing the 4 people who got back to him, which is good. I mean, it's good for him. And if he's only sent invites, that doesn't, and it's most likely, if you weren't the one invited, you probably shouldn't even bother submitting a proposal unless you feel very compelled that it could, that you're better than whoever, and sometimes, again, test it. You may want to test it. There's nothing wrong with that. And the other thing I look for is, of course, proposals. If it's over 20, then I definitely am more apprehensive because it's less likely that they even will look through that. Over 20, it drops off dramatically. But it has happened, and I've gotten one of my bigger clients from waiting, a little bit. The other thing is, are they? Sometimes a lot of times you just see 0, like they're not interviewing anybody, even though it was posted like 24 hours ago. That's not a good sign. You want somebody to be, interviewing 1, maybe 2 people. That's good. That's a good sign because that means that they're coming back. And when they look, they like what they look, and they're searching. They're actively searching. You don't want them to be inactively because that's the other thing you have to look at is the hire rate. So 29% hire rate. He's got a pretty low hire rate, to be honest. So he's very, very picky, and it makes sense too. I mean, but he's obviously a really badass client to work with. Most likely, I don't see anything paid here. but he has spent around $4,000, so he's not too nitpicky with money as long as you're the right person, is what it looks like. But he has got a really higher rate, and it's probably because he's so picky. So let's find the person's name, right? So what you want to look for is the top, not to freelancer, not to Andrew P, because that's a freelancer. You want to look at this. This is a freelancer to the client. It was a great experience working with Asher. Boom. So it is probably Asher. Sometimes it may not be, because it may be a team of people. But if it is a team of people, I just go ahead and, just use the name that's been used most frequently and most recent. So so I hope that helps. That's just kind of an idea for you. I kind of gave you some tips on how to filter, how to search, and whatnot. And then we would put that name here, right? Short introduction. Let's go ahead and make a mock proposal. So, short introduction. Hi, actually, okay, so if this is a proposal, we want to, and let's say we're going to go for this guy. Okay, need help in designing, defining, and laying out the various elements that will go into this tech management system. Let's say that, hey, Asher, I've been designing task management systems for 5 years now, and I am one of the best in my field, kind of thing. It's a little tough with this guy because he barely provided any information whatsoever. Let's look at somebody else here that I could kind of give you guys some more insight. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. Let me see if I can give you something that I could actually like. Okay, so I'm going to try to walk you through this as so I look for the budget. Obviously, I'm going to go for a bit of a higher budget, like $1,200, $2,000. In the beginning, I would still do that, but you kind of have to like work your way up a little bit sometimes. You may have to take some hits in some things in terms of budget. And if I were to try to submit this, I would go with the intention of raising the price. If not, then I would just, I would politely disregard it. And also, I don't like it when it's payment unverified. I also don't like it when no one's reviewed. It could still work. It has worked before in the past, but it's just kind of a pain because it's a lot less likely. But so this you can kind of tell it was copied and pasted, and that means that they probably copied and pasted in multiple locations. Which isn't bad necessarily, but you can tell it's a new account because nobody's given feedback. It's payment and verified, and it was copied and pasted. So I would read this, and if anything really came out to me, solopreneurs S&P. If it's sometimes if it's like super, super detailed, but the budget is pretty low, I wouldn't bother because unless you feel really compelled to. Okay, so I found one. This guy looks pretty good. So payment verified. One feedback, it's good. Proposals 20 to 50, but the budget is pretty high, so I would probably take a chance on this. Also, make sure to save any jobs that you feel confident in. And he is interviewing one person, so that's good. And even if you don't, the other thing is, even if you don't match the location or amount earned, if you prove yourself in the sales process, you can overcome those barriers. For example, I'm 9K and he's asking for 10K only, but I would still probably send him something. And then Walridge Corporation needs a web designer to upgrade website. Walridge is a manufacturer and distributor of plumbing specialty products, looking for an e-commerce style platform with a transactional ability. So what I would probably go with is, let's see. Okay. Amazingly, with the one review, you know his name, and his name is Andrew. So, and it's just, I'm gonna do a quick one. This is just kind of give you some examples. So don't take this to heart. Oh, not my name. Hey, Andrew. So for example, if I had like a plumbing site that I had done recently, or even if you've done a plumbing portfolio site that's not even real, which would be good if you wanted to dive into that industry, let's just say you do have a plumbing site previously, and you say, hey, Andrew, I recently did an amazing plumbing site that you can see here, and it may not be manufacturing, but I know the industry really well. And let's just say that, and then the other thing is you want to try to give instant value. So you want to try to think like, if he had like, I really need an idea of whether I should go with Shopify or WordPress, you can tell him like, well, Shopify is, to answer your question, or let's just say, because he's not asking it, I want to make it real. And I do, the other thing is I do have like kind of blocks that I use. So I don't write it out, but I don't write it out each time. I write out the first 2 sentences. So covering the short introduction and second hook, I always write that out personally. And then when it comes to how can you help them, I already have kind of like a pre-one written out specifically for my own, where I kind of talk about my YouTube channel and everything. And I kind of break that down. But right now I want to just try to kind of, because that is only going to pertain to me. And I'm trying to help you see how to develop one, because that's really going to be the most helpful. And the biggest things is make sure that you have a hook of some kind, and then another hook. That's what I try to do, is try to hook, like literally try to hook them with 2 different things. So I might say like, he's not asking for this, but have you ever thought of building a YouTube channel to optimize for SEO, to increase traffic, thus increasing orders? So I would probably word a little better than that, and I don't know if I would use YouTube with this person because he seems pretty concise, but this is just to give you an idea of a second hook. And then how can you help them? List out your bio, list out elements of your bio. Don't make it, copy and paste from your bio. Try to give some nuance to your bio, and then like who you are, where you've been, and that kind of thing. And then so bio as a body, keep it concise. Bullet benefits. Are you a copywriter? Copywriting, web design, graphic design, right? You want to list out all your skill sets, basically. Make it very simple. And if you have a little testimonial, you may want to do that. Then again, test, because you don't want it to be too long. And then give portfolio examples, like, website 1 with your website URL 1, website Rule 2. And then always have a CTA. Always. It can be as simple as PS. Do you have time to talk today or tomorrow? And I always like to write PS because it's a copywriting technique and it still works. I'm telling you. Okay? So that kind of gives you a breakdown of the proposal formula. And then just to kind of go through all of these things, I kind of give you some qualifying lead criteria. Again, edit before actually submitting the proposal. Always edit, and go back. I can't tell you how many times that and I just did it recently, and I had kicked myself in the butt for it, where I was almost done with the proposal. I got a little too, I was trying to get it done a little too fast, and I sent him something without the proper link. And it's embarrassing, but for the most part, it hurts the bottom line, and that's a no-no. And then again, test, and follow up. This is another thing. You need to get the app. So there's an UpWork app. Make sure to log in. Make sure you know how to work it. It's pretty easy, but they have a couple different ones, and it's kind of annoying. So you got to find the right one that on the App Store that actually works for a freelancer. The other thing is you need to 100% make sure that you get back to that person. If they reach out to you for anything, like that proposal was sent, they reach out to you, get back to them as soon as you possibly can. Okay? Even if it's like, let me take a look over this and get back to you. That's good. Because even though it'll say like, proper etiquette is within 24 hours, I mean, I'm almost 100% sure like the faster you get to them, like they're clocking it like 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. Like UpWork is seeing that, and they're gonna give priority to the people who like get there like within, as soon as possible, right? That's who they're gonna give priority to. So you need to be understanding of that. Again, with consistency and frequency. With frequency, I do 2 proposals a day. I should probably do more, but I found that, and I will do more. I'm just trying to continue to keep the 100% job success rate and be very stringent with who I even allow in my circle, even if it hurts my revenue right now, because I'm trying to get the top rated score, but I'm also trying to get really, really great clients. And so far, I have been getting really, really great clients. It's harder in terms of qualifying, and I've even had to turn some people down, which is kind of crazy. But it can save you a lot of time in the long run. Okay, so, and the other thing is, who is your target audience? So I would, you need to really think of who are you trying to target? Who is the right person that you really want to work with?